Buenos dias. What's going on, everybody? Back on the Six Rings Kane show. What's going on, fellas? Danny Gillette Vish here joining us. Max will be on in a little bit. Miami Flow Max Kesselhot. So what's going on, fellas?
What's
How we
up, man?
doing?
Good,
Coaching
man.
drama. That's what's going on.
Yeah, coaching drama, man. Jeez, but listen, it's all right. I know a lot of people are worried about it, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We've got some good stuff to cover today. Obviously, the latest regarding T. Rob, Varys Robinson, and of course, Elite Prospect Day is this weekend on the 22nd. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the top prospects that are going to be down here. Some really big names, some exciting names. Actually, one of the names on there was on our show a few weeks ago. So you're definitely going to want to hear about that. But before we even get started, because I know we've got Max coming on a little bit, I'll go ahead and I'll plug real quick, man. Price Picks, PricePicks.com. Obviously we talk about it a lot. Sometimes when Jock is on, if we ever get Dave back on the show, you'll hear them talk about it a lot. They're big fans of Price Picks as well. PricePicks.com. It's real simple. Really, what you guys are doing is you're picking your favorite players. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's the NBA, the NFL, NHL. Yeah, they even have golf and soccer and all that good stuff as well. So pick your favorite stars, right? Like pick your favorite players between 2 and 5. Choose their over under on points scored, rebounds. They have individual stats now. All that good stuff, right? You'll be able to choose the over under on all that, and then you just watch them win. You make a little money. It's simple as that. Go ahead and make sure you go on PrizePicks.com when you log in, when you sign on, when you sign in. Excuse me. When you get started, go ahead and put in the code 5, and they'll actually match any deposit, initial deposit up to I think it's $100. So make sure you do that when you sign in. Go to PrizePicks.com. When you sign up, make sure you put in the promo code 5, and they will match your deposit. Pick your favorite stars, choose your over unders, and make some money. PrizePicks.com. Um, let's go ahead and kind of jump right into it, man, because I think the biggest news, before we even get into anything else, the biggest news that we're hearing right now is it looks as though that T. Rob is going to be moving on from the University of Miami and taking a job over at Alabama, joining Nick Saban. Nick Saban is scared, boy. I'm telling you, he's scared. He knows Mario's coming for him, so he's trying to poach some of the guys. And listen, T. Rob is a good one. He's a good coach. He's obviously has a good reputation of developing some cornerbacks and stuff, and we only got to see a little bit here. We know that the situation wasn't the best for him here either with Coach Matty Diaz, although we thought that it was going to be better. However, he was still on the recruiting trail as late as a few days ago, right? So I think this was all developing a little bit later on, and it kind of happened fast, and it looks like he's going to be moving forward and joining Nick Saban's staff over at Alabama. Want to get your thoughts on it first, both of you, kind of your thoughts on the whole situation, and we'll kind of move from there. So, what are your thoughts? We'll start with Bish. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was something. It was kind of rumored a few weeks ago, and then it kind of died down. It was still out recruiting with Miami, so you kind of thought, maybe not. There's been we'll get into some of this. A lot of false rumors going around as well. So you kind of thought that was the case, but it
Right.
looks like he is actually going to Bama. Which, I mean, if Bama comes calling, people tend to go there. I will say it was always a little weird. I've talked a lot on this show about having good staff chemistry and making sure staff is connected. He and Mario had beef before Mario got here. Now
True.
they definitely buried the hatchet. But there's only so much you can do with that. Like I think it would have been fine, but I do think Alabama comes in, and as much as I'm sure him and Mario connected and kind of put it behind them, it was probably not the most comfortable situation for T Rob. So I think it all kind of makes sense from that standpoint as well. Um, I don't think it's as big of a loss as we appear. I mean, he's not going to a school that we're really competing directly with in conference, and I think that's the big thing is you got to start winning this crappy conference we're in. So then we can start competing against the Alabamas and stuff once you get to Clemson's level and start winning this conference consistently. So I don't think it's that big of a loss from that sense. And he was the defensive backs coach, so it's not. Now it'd be nice if we had a coordinator, but we didn't lose the coordinator. So
Right.
So I think it's, in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. It makes sense for him, and it's Bama, and at this point, it's still Bama gets kind of what they want. I mean, they pull NFL coaches in to be coordinators. It's just this is the beast you're dealing with there. So I'm not really worried about it, though. I think that we'll obviously talk through some of the offensive coordinator stuff that's flown around this week, but I think the sum total of all of that is kind of probably dragging people down a lot more than it should. I don't think any of this is really a big deal at this point.
I agree. What do you think, Danny?
Well, I think when you look at, Alabama's ability to put players in the league and put players in a good position to develop, Alabama does that with coaches too. You look at the 2015 coaching staff, what they had: Mario, Mel Tucker, Lane Kiffin, guys who have gone on to become successful coaches and head coaches and things like that. So I think if T Rob really wanted to take the next step and kind of grow his resume as a coach and maybe translate that into a head coaching position or something bigger than what he's doing right now, then I think this is a very smart move. With Mario and the rest of his coaching staff, I would be a little bit more upset if it was a different coach and T Rob left, but I have confidence in what Mario has been able to do so far in building this staff. So I think although T Rob was a good coach, I don't think it's going to be a big loss. I think we'll be able to patch it up quickly, and I certainly wish T Rob the best.
Well, yeah, and then there was this, there was also talk about, well, hey, maybe we just give him the position as a defensive coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
and keep him around. He can still coach the DBs, and so I think what you're going to see now is, I mean, obviously we kind of know some of the names that are out there uh, that are being talked about as defensive coordinators. That are going to have experience coaching DBs as well, right? So not only is this an opportunity to possibly just go ahead and, hey, if we hire a defensive coordinator, he might, he may be a corner, defensive backs specialist per se as well, right? So that's an option. There's also the other option. You as opposed to keeping DVD in an off the field recruiting role, maybe he's the guy that gets elevated, right? And he becomes defensive backs coach. Maybe there's some other names out there as defensive backs coach as well. A lot of people love Corey Bell. To bring him on the staff, which is obviously a great name as well. So there's a lot of names. There's a lot of people that are being thrown out there as possible, not replacements, but really just
I mean,
defensive coordinators.
it's the defensive backs coach. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I think if we had coordinators right
He's a good
now,
recruiter, but there's some other
but
guys out there.
yeah,
That are
we,
just
we
as
got
good.
we got, but our staff and Mario is like the king recruiter, and the staff he's putting together is ridiculous on the recruiting trail. I'm not really worried about that, and I think. I don't think anyone would even bat an eye at this if we had a full staff in place other than this, and then he just left. Like, oh, not a big deal. It's the fact that we don't have coordinators. There's holes all over the staff still. I think, and then T. Rob leaves. I think it's like icing on the cake. But they really complain that the cake sucks, not the icing. And I will get into it. I don't think it actually sucks, so we can maybe talk some people off the ledge there a little bit. But I think it's just the cumulative. There's lack of patience and. You want everyone announced and you want to feel, better about that. But, again, do we trust Mario? We spent all this time waiting for him to come here. We gave him all this money to get him out of Oregon. If we trust him, he's not an idiot. So if you think, like, he's not working on this or he didn't have any idea that T-Rob might be leaving, like, I'm sure he's already thinking about it. He's probably already reached out to people, sent feelers out. Like this is not,
I don't think he just found this out either, right? Like
yeah, this is not like when Enos came from Alabama and Nick Saban went to his office to talk to him and he was just gone.
Yeah. Should have stayed over there. But
I know he definitely should have stayed over there. But like this is something, again, this rumor came out a few weeks ago or maybe last week, whatever it was. This is not the first we've heard of this, so it's fine. It's a defensive backs coach. It's not the end of the world.
Couple names, kind of go.
Sorry, just real quick. To Les Aguilera asked, why did we lose him? Because it's Alabama.
Yeah, he probably got some more. Yeah,
he might got more money, but it's Alabama. It's Alabama. I mean, come on. Right. It's look, we know. Look, we understand. Like, this program has a lot of draws. There's a lot of great stuff about Miami right now. Alabama's king. Even though they lost to Georgia, that's if you wanna take that stepping stone job, it's Bama. Like that is, you get seen. they bring people in as analysts and they become head coaches. Like that is a whole other animal. So it's Bama. If Bama calls, like you go.
Uh,
Uh,
Gary, I don't know if those rumors were substantiated, if they were true. Remember, there's a lot of people out there that are that put stuff out there, because there's certain things that people want to, people to think, right, or fans to think. So I wouldn't read too much into those rumors about Corey Raymond coming to Miami or wanting to come to Miami, and we told them that T. Rob, already had his spot. I don't know. I don't
Although
know. I
I'm
don't know
trying to
about that.
remember back when I'm pretty sure he has Corey Raymond has a relationship with Napier already. Like they kind of knew each other,
Yeah,
so
I think
I
so.
think that probably had a lot to do with it. And also, again, Mario's not an idiot. Like T Rob can actually coach multiple positions. If he wanted to keep T Rob and bring Corey Raymond in to coach defensive backs, he would have done it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you have other dude. We still haven't filled the staff out. Like you could have
So,
found something for T Rob to do. That I don't think that was the impediment.
So some of the names that we've been hearing, possible coaches, I think there's two really prominent ones, right? Azar Smith, I think. I don't even remember. Azar Akeem Smith, right? I think something like that, right? So who's the cornerbacks coach over at Boston College? That's one we spoke about a couple weeks ago as well. Spoke about him, and we spoke. We haven't really spoken a lot about Corey Bell, but he's a great name. He is a hell of a coach, hell of a recruiter. That would actually be an awesome move, right? If Corey Bell came in, and replaced T. Rob, so that would be exciting, if that was the case. And then there's the option of DVD, right? Of hiring DVD and bumping him up and making him the defensive backs coach as well. He's an up and coming guy, and I think, look, listen, I know we're not all fans of. We don't want up and coming coaches everywhere on this team. But if we have a guy like DVD who's been proven that he can recruit the crap out of South Florida and just all around, right? He's been proven that he can start to really start to develop some guys. He's coached under some great coaches, right? I mean, can't complain when you've coached under T. Rob, when you've got Ed Reed still in the building. So he's got a lot of great support staff around him that could really help him out. That's another option, right? I hate to say it, but Ed Reed could come in and coach a position, right?
Yeah,
Like
so
that
so
that would be an option too.
I would say with the last two names you mentioned, to me those are settles. I don't think you
Who
come in.
DVD and Ed Reed?
Yeah, I don't think you come into this situation with Mario thinking you're going to leave DVD on an on-field position. Now, if we have to, and that's the best option, you take the best option you have. And again, I'll defer to Mario's expertise on all of this. He's evaluating the position, and he's paid $8 million a year because he's good at this, much better than we are, obviously. But to me, I don't know that like bringing someone in that is that young and unproven is what we thought we were getting on a staff here that we're trying to build into an elite staff. Now, again, I'll trust Mario, and if we get an experienced defensive coordinator, like you said, you can have one or two of these guys, and it's fine. It's not going to be a disaster or anything, but I would expect someone with some more on-field experience than DVD at this point.
I mean, it still could be. It still could be, or he could just not hire anybody there and just, like you said, like we said, get a DC that's also a defensive backs coach. Guys like Derek Mason, right? We'll throw out names: Derek Mason, Doug Belk. Those are guys that we've been hearing a lot of. Again, starting to surface. Real quick, let's get to the question from Jeff Lynn. Why move on to again? Why move on to Alabama when Mario is in the process of building a powerhouse? Cristobal needs to hire great coaches now. He will be as good as his DC and OC. Yeah, so he will be. He will be as good as his DC and his OC. But we've seen that he's had guys in the past that have been pretty good DCs and pretty good OCs. Obviously at Oregon, and he's done well there. He's done well. Why move on to Alabama? Well, first of all, we kind of answered that earlier, right? Because it's Alabama. That's number one. And is he building a powerhouse? Absolutely, he is. But as we mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm not sure if you were on, Jeff, or not, but there was a little bit of a rift back in the day with T. Rob and Mario, and I'm sure they hashed it out because they're grown ass men, they're adults, and I don't think that was going to be a big issue. But when when Nick Saban comes calling, he's going to give you more money, and maybe the other thought process was there was an ultimatum in place, right? It was, hey, TVD wants to be the defensive coordinator, and he wants more money, or he's going to move on, and then that makes the position, the choice much easier. As Miami Flow Max, Mr. Max Kessel Hall joins us on the show. What's going on, big dog?
No, just playing medic, bro. The VIP chat is like
Oh
acting
my
like
god,
we
broke
just
down.
lost our head coach.
Oh Jesus. Well, we got some guys on here too that are kind of freaking out as well. Maybe you can answer this question really quick. So someone asked, why move on? Why move on? Oh shit, I missed it. Okay, why move on to Alabama when Mario is in the process of building a
I'll
powerhouse?
put it up.
There you go. That's it. He needs to hire great coaches now. He will only be as good as his DC and OC.
Because Alabama's already the powerhouse that you're expecting.
That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
Alabama's Alabama.
In Alabama is like so much visibility. Like
Let's just keep it a
just-
buck, right?
if-
Their running back coach got a head coaching job after coaching at Alabama. Not an offensive coordinator, the running back coach.
Right. I mean, that's all you need to say there, right?
What else is there to say? Like, he can go coach there for 2 years and be a head coach somewhere, if it takes that long.
Right. Exactly. Greg writes here. But couldn't you essentially go after Raymond now? Anyways, speaking of Corey Raymond, I mean, could you? Yeah, but that's not. You know, I don't think
that
that's in the books.
assumes. I also think that assumes a rumor to be true, which I don't really find believable.
So
just being honest.
Flo's talked about that. So I'll say it publicly because he's
Yeah.
already said it publicly. Corey Raymond did reach out to Miami, but what he wanted wasn't acceptable to the vision that Mario has. The same reason why Charlie Partridge didn't come here. Just because a coach is interested doesn't mean that you're going to meet all of the demands. Do you guys remember when we were talking about Azar Abdul-Rahim at Boston College potentially coming here to be an
totally
analyst?
butchered his name earlier, by the way. I said
right?
Azar Akeem Smith.
So you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Go Google his name and look at the titles Boston College gave him to keep him. He's the full defensive backs coach, corners and safeties. He's the passing game coordinator as a DB coach, and he's the associate head coach.
Pretty damn good titles right there, honestly.
So there's a lot of things that coaches demand to go somewhere. It doesn't mean that the head coach is going to agree to those terms. So everybody knows Mario is about power and control and doing things his way. If he feels like a coach isn't the right fit, he's not going to hire him. That's just how he works.
And that also, you got to understand from like a leadership standpoint, when you're the head coach, you got to make sure like you're not hiring an attitude problem. The more demands they make to come in the door, the more difficult they're going to be to manage on your staff,
100%.
right? Everyone's got a role to like build this powerhouse together, and everyone's got to do their role and be committed to their role. And if people start thinking they're too good for their role or trying to grow, like that's a disaster waiting to happen. So you want to strike that balance. It's hard between like ambition, like this person I want to be the head coach eventually, right? With also understanding where they currently are and what they need to do to get there, and being willing to put the work in. When people, you're hiring for a defensive backs coach and they start making demands on you, it's kind of like just a defensive backs coach. Like no, like
you're not gonna come here and be the DC or the co-DC associate head coach. Like, he's got Mirabal and he's got McClendon and he's got Joe Salavei, guys that he has coached with personally that he vouches for that are deserving of some of those titles. He can't just go throw around, hey, you get an associate head coaching role and you get what it's like. You can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
That's just not possible.
And that brings up the next point, right? I think Jeff writes in again. We expected an elite coaching staff. Two things before you guys get to this. Two things. He is building an elite coaching staff. Look at the guys that are already on board, right? You already mentioned the BMAX, Salavea, Mirabal. I mean, it really doesn't get a lot better than quite possibly the best offensive line coach in the country, quite possibly one of the best wide receiver / running backs coach, who is now on staff here as well, one of the greatest recruiters, right? Then you've got Salavea, who's a top 5 defensive line coach as well. So, like, think about all the guys that he's already has on the staff. I would say that that's already going towards being an elite coaching staff. Number one.
Also, it's not an on-field coach, but don't forget Feld. Like our strength and conditioning,
Feld
jumps
and
going
Eaton
forward.
And
Dude,
but getting that how much we got pushed around in the past and how much of a leap we're going to make
Yeah,
strength
it's
and
gonna make.
conditioning wise.
I
don't
you
think
already have them talking about it. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't think people understand how much of a difference that's going to make.
I was literally just talking to a player on the team, and I'm not going to read everything or tell you who it is, but he said workouts are 10 times better. I loved Feely, but I feel like Feld's training style is just exponentially better.
yeah, that's all you need to know right there. That's gonna make a huge difference. And on top of that, my second point was, I mean, look, not every elite coach coaches at Alabama. Not every elite coach coaches at Clemson. Not every elite coach coaches at Ohio State. You've got a lot of great coaches that are elites at whatever it is that they do, and that we're gonna fill this staff with. I think everybody needs to kind of relax. Okay.
Hey, you forgot to mention the 6-ring Canes old Kevin Smith, man.
Yeah, Kevin Smith.
Forgot about him on
how
that.
could I forget him?
You're the one
who hired him. Like,
yeah, we're gonna have to get Jock in here to yell at you now, man. What are we doing here?
No kidding. That's another guy. Like, think about that guy, right? Like, you know, number 2 and number 1 rushing offense last couple of years in the SEC. That's huge. And he brought one of his guys over with him, right? Henry Harris transferred over.
Can we talk about how Alabama's defensive backs coach just left them to go to Oklahoma?
That's right, he did.
So it's not like our coach their coach left. That's why they needed a coach. They didn't fire him. He left.
Let's see.
Also, just when we're talking about coaching staffs, like, we did take Oregon's head coach as a starting point. Like, we're playing big time. Like, I know everyone's kind of impatient with how long some of this is taking. Look at where our assistants are coming from and our head coach came from. Yeah, a lot of them came over from Oregon with them, but these are all people with huge track records at top. Like, this is the best program in the Pac-12. We rated their coaching staff, took their head coach and several of their assistants, went to the SEC and took a ranked team's running back coach, and he brought their best player with him. Like, we're doing big things here. I understand T-Rob leaving is, like, not great, but, like, look at what we've been doing, and, you know, calm down a little bit. Like,
don't forget we took Florida State's best recruiter too.
That's right. What's the kid's name?
Sabbath Joseph.
Sabbath Joseph.
Yeah. Don't forget about that one either.
Yeah, I mean we're he's doing big things here. I understand we want the coordinators hired so we can say, oh, look at the coordinator, but, like, every move he's made has been a power move. We're not playing little league anymore. We're in the big times.
So Max, give us some options now with T-Rob leaving. We spoke about it a little bit earlier about, you know, some of the ways that they can kind of fill that role.
Well, you invented a coach at Boston College, but named Smith or something.
I invented Azar Smith from Boston College, not Azar Abdul Rahim. Which, yeah, there you go. Good job, Jazz. That's okay. I don't give a shit. Talk to me about some options that, you know, we've mentioned Doug Belk, we've mentioned Derek Mason, we've mentioned the possibility of bringing in a guy like Corey Bell. What are some of those names? How would those kind of names stack up with some of the options or some of the things that we're thinking about doing, or that we think that we're thinking about doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you hire Belk or Mason, you don't even need to hire a new coach because you have DVD who can just slide right in there. If his plan was to be off field this year, I don't know what that plan was. So if you hire a DC that's a safeties coach or a cornerbacks coach, you don't have to worry about a hire. But if you do need to worry about one, there's plenty of options out there. You go raid the NFL for assistant cornerback coaches. You raid the NFL for coaches that aren't getting retained because the head coach got fired. You can go get Nick Monroe, one of the best recruiters in the ACC, over at Syracuse. He coaches corners and safeties. He literally lives in South Florida. He just comes down here and poaches the guys that we don't get. Like, the guy is a killer recruiter. And then, of course, like you mentioned, Corey Bell, who's probably one of the most underrated defensive back coaches in the country. He's one of the best recruiters in the country, and he can coach up as well. There's so many options. That's why I'm in the least bit worried. Like, I'm so relaxed. I was having fun in the VIP chat, just like trolling everybody and being like, yo, go for like a 15-minute walk and then come back, get some fresh air. Like, everything's going to be okay. What if Doug Belk is already the safeties coach and DVD's the corners coach? And I don't want to play what ifs. And I was like, well, everything is a what if until we know what's happening. So, like, all we do is play what ifs. I mean, it's not. Yes, would I have preferred to keep T-Rob? 100%. Is it a huge loss? 100%. But we're more than fine. Like, Mario has backup plans for his backup plans for his backup plans.
So someone mentioned something real quick here before we get to the dono, which is makes a good point. Dade Warrior says Mario is not going to hire DVD. He wants experienced coaches, not guys that have 1 or 2 years of experience. Where does DVD fit in with all of this? Could he be a viable option, you think, or is he more still in the off the field recruiting type of role?
I don't know Mario's opinion on DVD as far as a coach, so I can't really speak on that. But what I do know is he values him as a recruiter a lot, enough to not let him go anywhere. Kind of what Boston College did to Azar. Like, they gave him 3 titles so he wouldn't leave. We're compensating DVD a lot to stay. So, I'm assuming this because he didn't leave.
Yeah.
And he had some pretty decent offers on the table that weren't reported, like the FIU one. So I'm just not worried about it at all. If Mario thinks he's good enough to coach, he's good enough to coach. I personally would be totally fine if it was him, but I could also see him going out and getting somebody more proven like Corey Bell.
Yeah. Real quick, Adam Folds with a $5 dono. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. We do appreciate the dono, man. No question, no nothing. So let's see what. Okay. So let's do this. All right. Enough about the DC and all that with T-Rob. We wish him the best if he's gone, if he isn't, whatever it is. I don't know what happened, but Vish again, the lights just went off in his place. This is the second time. This is the second time it happened.
This time there's actually people watching too. It wasn't just the 3 of us. Like, maybe the Capitol. I'm like less than from the Capitol. I'm always wondering, like, are we under attack? Are the Russians coming in? Like, what's happening?
Max, I don't know if you know this, but Vish is actually a designated survivor. I didn't know. I don't know if you knew this.
I'm in a bunker, and the lights just went out, so I don't know.
Anyways, so all right, moving on to the offensive coordinator position, which a lot of things have been going on in the past 24 to 48 hours. Also, some pretty comical stuff, to be honest with you. First it was Kendall Briles. He's been offered the position. You know, some people were reporting it. I think prematurely, if you ask me. And then we had discussions here. Hey, should we put something out? I'm like, no, let's not put anything out yet because, it could just be him trying to get some attention from Arkansas to get a raise and this, that, and the other. We see that it happens in a span of like 20 minutes. It went from him being offered the position to him getting a contract extension at Arkansas. Whether it's real, whether it's not, these are the things that are being put out there for reasons, okay? This is how this is all working. But before that, we also heard that the head coach over at Toledo, Kendall, I think his name is Joe. Is it Joe Kendall? I think.
Jason
Kendall. Jason Kendall. Jason Kendall was the leading candidate for the offensive coordinator position. He's the head coach over at Toledo. And then Aaron Feld, Coach Feld posts something on Twitter saying, "Get ready, boys. Tomorrow we light the fuse," and everybody thinks he's talking about Jason Kendall when he's actually just talking about the program that he's putting together.
He's talking about whooping some ass. Is what he's talking about.
I just think it's hilarious everything that's going on now with the offensive coordinator position. And who it's really going to be. And then, others are like, well, it's not going to be Dorsey because he's going to go to the NFL. Yeah, that could very well happen too. There's just so many things still going on. Listen, I want everybody to understand this. And I know Max and Vish and Danny, you all know this already. Mario is so damn calculated. It drives us crazy. Okay. I can only imagine what it does to fans out there that are not, kind of entrenched in this on a daily basis. From our perspective, it drives us crazy, but at the same time, like, this is being put out this way for a reason, right? So with that being said, the offensive coordinator position, it's funny, it's tricky. There's a lot of names and a lot of people being spoken about out there. What do you guys think about what's going on at the offensive coordinator position? Who are we kind of who do you want to see kind of being narrowed? Are we still considering Kendall Briles or Jason Kendall? Max, we'll start with you. By the way, every time I see your at, it says Miami Flow. Max, I want to say Flow. Jesus Christ, Max.
Mario is a calculated person. When Mario says leak something, it gets leaked. When Mario says don't say something, it doesn't get said. I am not falling for any of these things on social media. I am refraining from even looking at them because I know what he's doing. He's conditioning the media and he's playing games with everybody because it's his way of doing things, not our way. Everybody's like, there's no reason for Mario not to announce stuff if he's already hired. That's what you want. That's not what he wants. He has a plan, he has a vision, and he's doing it. So to me, I'm not worried about it at all. I don't think Kendall Briles, yes, he was a candidate. Was he offered the job? Absolutely not. Was the dude at Toledo offered the job? Absolutely not. That's just, oh, hey, I interviewed for this job. I didn't get it. I'm going to tell my agent to say something to a writer so I can get a pay bump at where I'm currently at. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yep, that's exactly. Honestly, that's exactly what we've been
To
saying.
me, it was so obvious the Kendall Briles ones was fake just for how quickly it moved.
Dude,
Like,
they all have the same agent. They all have the same agent. Do you not think they know what's going on? It's Sexton. He has. I'm pretty sure he has Kendall, Mario, and Briles. Like it's
but also, it's also in Arkansas's best interest to have the rumor out there because then they have an excuse to, if they have to fire him a year from now. Well, Miami was calling, so we had to give him more money. So it's just totally beneficial to them to have that rumor out there if they're going to give him more money. It's beneficial to him, gives him some leverage. It makes their school look better because, Miami wanted this guy and we kept him. So it's just beneficial to all of them to have that BS out there. That whole thing happened way too fast to be even close to true.
Yep.
Like, you can't, within 20 minutes it went from he's been offered the job to contract extension like that. No, I'm sorry. That is it was so.
It's obvious that it was planned.
Well, you know what? You know what the insulting part was? It wasn't even good strategic leaking. Wait a minute.
See this? Money.
Yeah.
But you just got us $2 from having that stash, so there you go.
For Alex, what's up, Alex?
you guys can keep 50 cents. It's all good.
Thanks, we appreciate it. Ben asks, why did the candle thing fall apart? Again, it never really was put together to begin with. So that's just stuff that was put out there. Yeah, you gotta go.
The candle was never lit.
The candle was never lit, so yeah, there was no way it could be burnt out. All right. Anyways, any worries that T-Rob will get Miami recruits and even players to go to Bama? Of course, if they are good enough. No, I'm not worried about it.
I will say if they were good enough and they wanted to go to Bama, they'd have gone to Bama. That's again, when at the beginning of the show, before Max joined, I was saying, I'm not, especially him going to Bama. We're not, we're not direct competing with them right now, so it's fine. If a kid has a Bama offer and he wanted to go to Bama, he'd already be at Bama. He's not. Yeah. He's not now that T-Rob's there. No, right, Nick Saban's there. You're playing in the championship every year. T-Rob's not pushing you over the edge to go to Bama.
By the way, Rasta put E. What's up, E? Thanks for checking out the show. Max is Miami Flow. He's the real plug. We got all our info from him.
That's a fact, Jack. I'm just wearing a mask, dude. Hey, we're in the process of actually getting that designed right now.
So, yes, yeah. I'm definitely getting that. Which, by the way, reminds me, please go out to the 5 Reasons Sports Network merchandise page and get yourself a shirt. We don't have the shirts on today, but make sure you go get yourself your 16 shots of Cuban coffee and 2 hours of sleep shirt. It's a pretty cool shirt. So make sure you guys check that out. What else do we got here? So the offensive coordinator position. DJ, I know you wanted to kind of say something real quick, I thought I saw you say something about the offensive coordinator position, but if you had your pick, what are your thoughts on that?
I was just gonna say I was about done with the first paragraph of my story when the initial Briles news broke, and then within the next 15 minutes there was no longer a story. I'm honestly wondering about the Dorsey thing. It really makes me wonder because I know we had kind of talked about him before on the show. Now, obviously, with Buffalo advancing and things like that, I mean, maybe Dorsey's situation has changed in the sense that more NFL teams are starting to really kind of value his stock a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. So my pick was Dorsey, so I'm not really sure who I would want as the offensive coordinator right now. If Dorsey comes, great, but with this win, I I see it slipping farther away, in my opinion. I don't know anything
Could be.
inside or anything like that, but I just kind of see him going on to bigger things in the NFL, possibly.
Ben writes here. Curious why Joe Brady's name has basically disappeared in the last few weeks. I'll say one thing: the NFL. He wants to be in the NFL. Max, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I mean, I don't really know, but Radakovich's name went away.
No.
And we still hired him, right? That was the first name we heard. We still hired. I'm not saying we're going to get Joe Brady, but again, what if the conversation, the interview he had with Mario realized that no, that's not going to suit what I want. I mean,
Right.
That's the thing that actually kind of drives me a little bit nuts is like people just assume because somebody's not here, something happened and like we whiffed. It's like, dude, when you interview someone, they also have to interview you. Like, there's not always a match. Just because somebody's a good coach and he has an interview doesn't mean he's going to get the job. Like, people
Right.
flunk interviews all the time. So I'm just sitting back, relaxing. When it happens, it happens. I'm not really too entrenched in it anymore. I kind of just play around with people because I think that's more enjoyable than,
Yeah.
losing the hair that I don't have.
Well, you got
So
plenty. You got plenty right here, Big Daddy.
yeah, I might have to do a mustache transplant or something when this is all done.
Oh man. Real quick, Jeff writes again. Manny Navarro just said that the Toledo head coach in Miami has some legs. Again,
I didn't see that.
yeah, I didn't see that either. He may have said it in the space or something. Keith Hayward, talk to me about that name. What's that name all about?
He coached with Mario at Oregon. He was seen having lunch with Mario in Oregon after he accepted the job here. He's a guy that Mario values. He's one of the best recruiters in the country. Pretty sure he was the primary for Thibodeau.
Gotcha.
The guy is a freak recruiter. He's coaching outside linebackers at Cal Berkeley right now. He coached defensive backs at Oregon with him. So I mean, I would say it's a name to monitor, but again, I don't really know a
Right.
ton of the staff moves as far as what he's planning on doing. But Keith Hayward, like I said, is an elite recruiter. He got Thibodeau, he got Juju Smith-Schuster when he was at USC. He got Marvell Tell, who was another high 4-5-star.
What position does he coach? What positions does he coach?
Primarily safeties and corners, but he's coached linebackers this year too. So I
Gotcha.
could see him coming on staff in any of those three positions.
Cool. Let's see if we have any other. Doug Belk. We've spoken about Doug Belk. Yeah, as a possibility. Rod Chance. I know he went over to Colorado, but listen, you could always revisit that. Coaches always do that kind of stuff. Bring back Banda. Robin De La Torre says, bring back. Oh, real quick, Chug my beer again coming through, baby, with the $10 dono. Okay, guys, over under on 100 days on when Miami announces the offensive with the OC and the DC. Laughing my ass off. Smash the like button and a great show, guys. Appreciate the love, Chug. The over under on 100 days. I'll take the under on that. All right, I'll take the under on that.
Well, maybe it is really chestnut checkers, and he doesn't want the spring game. No one can get film on what we're gonna run. So once the coordinators after the spring game, you bring them in. No one's seen anything.
That would be awesome.
I got cameras on the field. I don't know what you're talking about, Vish. I see everything.
That's true. But Max is a trusted advisor, so he will only leak fake stuff when it comes to on field to just deceive the opponent.
Talk about playing chess. Bring back Banda, Rob. I know I said that earlier. Bring back Banda. What position coach the Belt coach as DC? Yeah, he coaches defensive backs as well. So, if Dable, so going back to the offensive coordinator position, if Dable gets a Dolphins job, he likely brings Dorsey with him to be his OC. I think if Dable gets any job, that's something to look at as him.
So I would say with Dorsey, similar to Brady, he has to decide what he wants to do for his next step. If he wants to go the NFL route, I don't think he would come here to be OC, whether he has an OC job or not, because he's shortlisted already. Like, it's only a year. Like, if he doesn't get an OC job this year, he's not far away from it. So if he wants to go the NFL route, I think he's just got to make that decision on his own. Like, what does he want to do?
Now, let me ask you this, though, Jazz.
Yeah.
Why would he follow Dable to be an OC?
Why would he do it?
Yeah.
Why? And I'm guessing that you say that because Dable calls plays, so why would he need Dorsey to come in, right?
why would he go there? He's not. He's basically just gonna be the glorified quarterbacks coach with a pay increase.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Plus, you
I
could also,
didn't even think about that.
assuming Dable goes from Buffalo, I mean, I would assume Dorsey would probably be in the running to be their OC
True.
and just take
Yeah.
over that offense.
I didn't even think about that, Max. Yeah, you make a great point. If he's going to call the plays, then what's the point of him doing that? So, and then again, look, this is, I hate to say it because it's so cliche now because everybody says it, but this is the crib, right? This is the crib. Real quick, that's the link to our merch. Real quick, if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at it, it'll be there in the chat. You guys can go ahead and click on it and take a look. Yeah, you bring up a good point. I'm still sticking with Dorsey. By the way, I still think that he is the guy that's going to end up here, but I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think he's the one that, at least based on what we've seen, would make the most sense. Like Max has said multiple times, Mario's very deliberate. He's executing his plan, whatever that is, and he's not an idiot.
Yep.
So
look, Meditation Marvel. If you want to put that up real quick, Meditation Marvel kind of said it the best. Mario's giving all the Hurricane YouTube channels and the reporters something to talk about. He's a genius. Yeah, man. Hey, listen.
Yeah, thanks. Our viewership keeps going up. We appreciate it. Yeah,
we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, this is actually supposed to be the slow season of YouTube.
Not a chance.
No, seriously. If you go look at the algorithm, this is the slow time.
But it definitely hasn't been.
It's picked up, if anything.
Yeah. If anything, it's picked up. I wanted Gary Patterson, G-Man's right before that. Well, too bad because he's coaching as a quality control coach at Texas with Sarkisian. So it looks like he's going to be there unless somebody
a better head coach than their head coach. And
I mean, Patterson was deciding two things. Does he want to get back on the head coaching hamster wheel, or does he want to do something like he's doing now, which is kind of step away and
And I think he's going to take this year to figure that out. So.
He was not going to be a defensive coordinator. Like that was not. No, he could be a head coach at a lot of P5 schools right now if he wanted to.
Let's Max for analyst, Coach Hayes for DC.
How do you know that's not already happening?
This is why he knows Mario's got a plan. He's executing it. We're breaking news here, man. We got the new OC on here. Ask him about his style of offense.
Flo is recruiting coordinator at the office. With the limo.
Hey, you can't say that publicly, Alex. Come on now.
Flo do all his recruiting visits in the limo for sure, hands down.
These recruits aren't 21, Alex. You can't be saying that publicly.
Let's kind of turn our focus real quick before we head on out of here. I definitely wanted to talk about this because this is a huge weekend for Miami recruiting, and I don't think we've talked enough about it. Not on our shows, and I know a lot of people are starting to get back into it. You guys do a great job, Max, of talking to recruiting on your shows, and some of the other guys like David and E, they do a pretty good job as well. But this weekend is the elite prospects camp, which is kind of like your 2023, 2024 kids coming out. Some of your top players are 5 stars or 4 stars, big names from all over the country. Going to be down here. I don't have a lot of information on this, DJ. I know that you read up a little bit on it and you checked it out. Max, I know you know about it. What is this Elite Prospects Camp really about? Like how does this work? And you two can kind of chime in on this if you want.
Max, I'll let you go first.
Well, I'll talk about kind of some of the guys that are going to be there. Definitely tune in to Sebastian Lane tomorrow on the Miami Flow channel with Rasta and Dave because they're going to actually show the entire list that Rasta has literally made himself by reaching out to like every player in the top 300.
Right.
So definitely tune into that if you want to see who's actually going to be there, like the whole list. But I'm just going to name like 5 stars that are either going to be there or like high % chances that they're going to be there. Dante Moore, the quarterback. You have Richard Young, the running back. Mark Fletcher should be a 5-star. He's going to be there. Nice. You got Brandon Innes, Jalen Brown, Carnell Tate might be there. Francis Maueoga, however you say that Samoan name, the 5-star offensive tackle is probably going to be there.
We'll say, you know what? We'll make it easy. Malaluga.
All right.
Yeah.
Jaden
Jazz can make up a name, call him Smith.
Jaden Wayne, the 5-star defensive end from Washington, is going to be there. Malik Bryant, the 5-star defensive end from Orlando. Shout out to J407. You met him at the event, Jazz.
From Evans High School.
Jones.
I know.
Don't piss him off too bad. You got Keon Kelly, who might be there, another 5-star defensive end. You got David Hicks, who might be there, a 5-star defensive tackle from Texas. You got Kamani McLean, 5-star corner, from Polk County, and then you got Samuel Mpemba, who's a 5-star athlete that is locked in, and he's going to be there. So that's just the 5 stars.
Did you mention Cormani McLean? Yeah,
Yep.
right? You just did. Yeah, yeah. Some of the other guys, Derek LeBlanc, Peyton Kirkland, Hakeem Williams, who is a really nice wide receiver. Monroe Freeling. I think Danny, you wrote something on Monroe recently, right?
Yep.
And then another big tight end, Mac Markway, Damon Fagan. My favorite out of all of these is the big time defensive lineman at the top, John Walker. I mean, does it get any better than that guy's name?
I think there is a better one that's going to be there.
What's his name?
King Mac.
I don't know. I'm still sticking with John Walker, man. John Walker. For all you degenerates out there, that's a great name.
But you don't. Hopefully, we won't need to be drinking the John Walker in the first quarter anymore. So
I don't know. I've had some bad nights with John Walker, so I don't know if that's a good name anymore.
John Walker got me through the Al Golden era, so I'm good with John Walker. John, we don't even call him Johnny anymore. He's just John. We're very close with him. Yeah.
What about DeAndre Doofus?
Wow, that's a great name. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a great name. I feel, I guess you kind of feel bad for the kids sometimes, but he'll knock the doofus out of you. That's for sure. I'm sure, right? I never even heard of that kid, Deontay Doofus. What a name!
Yeah, DeAndre Doofus. He's actually from Miami, I believe, too.
Interesting name. DJ, what are they going to do at this camp?
Well, I was taking a look at some film. One of the names that intrigued me at Dante was Dante Moore, and he's a 5-star quarterback. As far as what he brings to the table, he is a pocket first quarterback. He makes quick reads, accurate throws. He can scramble, but that's not his MO from what I saw. I mean, I think this whole camp is just a good chance for all the elite prospects to really not kind of put their names on the map, because they already are on the map, but it's a good chance to kind of let the coaches and let people evaluate what they can do. I mean, you look at some of these names, and there are going to be some big names coming to visit Miami. I think Moore is going to come and visit either Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure, but this is now, you talk about one of the big recruiting events of the off season, so to speak. This is it. I mean, another guy that I wrote about was Mac Markaway. He's a very good physical tight end. He's not a big play tight end. He can make big plays happen, but he's more of a possession type of tight end, so he could bring that physicality in terms of blocking as well as his catching ability. And there's going to be all sorts of different types of solid athletes around Miami this weekend, and I think it's going to be something that we should definitely watch out for. I think this could be another big weekend.
Doofus, which by the way, I think his last name is Duffus, but whatever. Doofus is plays at Chaminade.
Have to call him Doofus though.
I know you do. I get it. I totally get it. 52 Biggie says Corey Raymond and T-Rob now going to tell the 5-star corners and safeties that it's a wrap. I guess we get all the leftovers. I mean, listen, man. If that's what you think, whatever.
Do people forget that Mario's like the best recruiter in the country?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good players out there too, man. Like, we need to chill with that.
I will say, in terms of leftovers, like if we get the leftovers, that's still some pretty good talent right there, especially with some of the kids coming this weekend. I'd be happy with the leftovers, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, James Williams and Avante Williams weren't leftovers, so and they were here before T-Rob got here, so I'd be all right with that. Well, I think T-Rob may have recruited James Williams a little bit. Anyways, Anthony, a good friend of the program, Anthony Manzano writes, is Nick Iamalavea, the 5-star quarterback out of Cali, going to be here for the elite camp? And I know
where's he from again, Jazz?
Where's he from?
Yeah.
I must say Cali.
Oh yeah, I just wanted you to say it again. It's all good. Continue.
Why would you want me to say that again?
Because I'm out here, man.
Oh, I know you're in Cali. You're a Cali boy. I get it. I know. What do you think about I am a la blah 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 blah? Is he gonna Nick Iamalavea? Is he gonna be out here at elite camp? At the elite?
I don't believe so. But we got a pretty good Polynesian recruiter on our team, so
Yeah,
on our staff. So
that's
we'll
right.
chop some wood there.
Big Daddy Joe. Is there a chance that that T Rob to Bama is all smoke? No, I think that's pretty much it. And Greg wrote. I'm sorry, I missed it. Greg Trujillo, by the way, is a good buddy of mine. I will be at the Elite Prospect Day. Excuse me, with David and Joku. That's interesting. That's kind of cool.
I heard he was letting you in his backpack to get in.
Greg is the big baller there, bro. He's the one that I definitely want to carry his bags. So he's a good dude, man. Thanks, Greg, for joining us. Unlike Vish, who I respect a lot, I think T Rob going to Bama is a big loss. So I guess he respects you a lot, Vish.
I mean, that's good. That's good.
Nice.
People respect me when they disagree with me. You can't complain about that.
I like.
I mean,
that,
we'll see. I think he was the defensive backs coach. I think we can replace him. I'm not that worried about it. And as Max pointed out, our head coach is kind of a good recruiter. So if we're worried about the recruiting angle, I think he's got it covered there. And DVD again. Don't know about as an on-field coach, but certainly in the recruiting ranks, he's already proven himself. So I'm not. I think we're covered there. But yep, I can certainly see like T. Rob was a guy we were excited to get here. I'm not trying to crap on him. He's an excellent defensive backs coach, but I think we'll be fine.
All right, so before we finish out the show, over under on how many recruits commit this weekend after Elite Prospect. Oh, and before we even mentioned that, by the way, I think one of our favorite recruits. I think everybody here, I know for a fact. I know Vish doesn't really care about recruiting that much, which is fine. That's fine, man. It is what it is. No, not everybody. A lot of people really don't, right? It's
okay,
crazy.
I'll say I care. I just don't have the energy to keep up with it. Like
Right,
we're
it's
sitting here,
exhausting.
Max is like pulling stuff out of. I'm like, I don't know how you do. You got a computer brain on. Like I can't. I got too much other crap floating around in here. I can't keep this straight.
You're a designated survivor, man. You got a lot of things going on over there in Washington. Jack Pyburn. I think he's one of our favorite recruits. Is the big, I guess you can call him defensive end / linebacker out of Jacksonville Bulls. I think it was Rasta and Dave who had him on the show right last week.
Yep.
That was awesome, by the way. He kind of reminds us of that old school Miami linebacker / end guy that's just full of energy. Really, really smart kid, very, very skilled already. Doesn't get enough credit now. Obviously, now he's starting to get a lot of credit. Has us down as his top two, and he's going to make his decision January 27th, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Top two are Miami and Auburn. So look out for that one. That could be a really huge get. It doesn't get enough credit. It doesn't get enough hype. And that's okay. By the way, he is the top rated wrestler as a heavyweight wrestler in the state of Florida as well. So, which always bodes well for guys like defensive ends and linebackers who use their hands a lot. So, really excited about that one. Roster rights. Watch out for Jackson.
We all got to at this point.
Jackson State for Jack Pyburn. That would be a very interesting one move. But you never know nowadays. So over under on how many guys commit this weekend, Max? You think anybody pulls the trigger?
Man, it's hard to know because it's a underclassmen event, or I mean, not really underclassmen because a lot of them are. They're juniors, but they're not seniors, so it's hard to say where these guys' timetables are at. Some of them like to get it out of the way early, but some of them wait until after summer when they can go take a lot of their visits. So if I had a guess, I would probably say like 4.
That's still good.
But I just have no idea. Like I literally have no idea because I don't know when these guys are planning on committing.
It's still early. The ones that I could see, and it's crazy to say because we haven't spoken a ton about them, but I think that a quarterback, right? Quarterbacks tend to commit a little earlier than most other positions. So maybe you get a guy like Dante Moore that maybe wants to pull the trigger for 2023. I'm not going to say no to that guy, right? He's obviously one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I'm not sure if there's any other I know there's another quarterback that's coming. I can't think of his name, but I know there is
Ahmad Haston.
Haston.
something.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right. So that's another guy that could come in and pull the trigger. I don't know if a kid like Tyler Aronson, who just moved over, transferred over to St. Thomas, is another kid, but he's a 2024 kid, so he's still got some time. So I mean, look at E throwing down the nuggets here. This is why you come to this show, by the way. You come to this show for E's nuggets. 3 to 5 silent commits, I think is what he meant
Why
to
isn't
say.
E on here, dude?
I don't know. He should be on here. E, I'm gonna send it. Someone send E the damn. I'll get it. I'll send it to him.
He's probably at work.
Probably. Dylan Risk also visiting, but doesn't have
Yeah,
an offer yet. Yeah,
his
that's a
his
his brother
brother.
plays for us now. Yeah, brother's a
Yeah.
backup quarterback for now. Let's see. I know there was another. One last thing. Do you, Jeff writes? Do you give uh, a crystal ball to Miami or Jackson State for Shamar? That's a great question, man. Look, don't count out Texas A&M. They're still in it for Shamar as well. If I had to say percentage wise, I'll go 60-40 Miami. I don't know, Max, if you think that's a good percentage for Shamar.
Yeah. It's like Kevin Coleman. Like I am so convinced. Like I'm at like a 90% that he's coming to Miami, but the 10% wouldn't shock me.
Right. It's not like it's gonna come down to it, and then we're gonna be shocked if he chooses Jackson
Yeah,
State.
like everybody thinks like Texas A&M's 2 and like Georgia's 3. I don't think either of them are even involved. Like yeah, they're involved, but I think it's between us and Jackson State. Like, and I would be surprised if he did not pick us. I don't know. I don't see it happening. But I didn't see it happening with Coleman either, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to. This Discord stuff
I
is
got
driving me
it. Dude,
crazy.
I got it. I
Send it,
got it.
send yeah.
I'm on a computer, so
There you go. Much easier. Let's see. You got a few Miami players in the Polynesian Bowl this weekend. Yeah, there's some guys out there that David. By the way, his name is not Luli, it's Iuli or Yuli. I keep thinking it was an L.
aioli?
Yeah, Aioli. David Aioli.
What kind of
Um,
aioli?
garlic aioli always, man. Dave Yuli is over there. Harold Perkins is another name that he says he's going to make his last visit here to the Canes. Listen, um, I wouldn't get my hopes too high on a kid like Harold Perkins. I think that he's got a lot of people in his ears, a lot of people talking to him, and I think eventually he flips. I don't think he sticks at Texas A&M either, but I don't think it's to Miami. I just don't see that happening. Who else is at the Polynesian Bowl besides is Connerly out there as well? I don't think Connerly.
I believe Connerly might be there. I believe Jacurri's there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Cyrus Moss is there.
Yeah, I heard he might be out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird because I thought you could only play in one, but like there's multiple people playing in both.
Right. Perkins is taking a vacation to Miami. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
His mom even lets him come.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing with Harold Perkins, right? Is his mom is in his ear telling him that Miami isn't ready. That she doesn't want his kid wasting time. He doesn't have time to waste. Listen, man, at the end of the day, ultimately, that's up to the kid. That's up, not the decision, because we all know that the decision half the time is never the kid's choice, right? Too many people. You've got these street agents, you've got these handlers, you've got everybody. You've got so many people in their ears, right? Whether it's a 5-star kid or a 2-star kid, it doesn't matter who it is. You got a lot of people in these kids' ears that are making decisions for them, and that's why you see the transfer portal is so prominent nowadays. Because kids make mistakes, or kids are not happy with where they are because they made certain decisions. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Harold Perkins and his recruiting. I just don't see him coming to Miami. So I think that's going to be interesting. When I excuse me, Anthony wrote, when I look at Pyburn, he reminds me a little bit of either Blake Martinez or AJ Hawk in terms of how he plays and his physicality at linebacker. Do you agree? Oh, I thought it was because he was white. Damn it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, he's been compared to guys like that, like Blake Martinez and AJ Hawk. So that's a good comparison. Why? Screw it. Let's just throw in Dan Morgan while we're at it. Where's number 44? Right? Let's do it. No, but yeah, he does remind us of a lot of a guy like that. Uh, that's all I really got to say about that. You guys got anything else to add here? Can we get out of here?
So, a couple of things. One, a little bit more of a serious note, but certainly, we're thinking of Larry Bluestein, our colleague, who's going through some medical stuff now. I don't want to, talk about personal stuff on here, but yeah, if you could spare a thought for him, that'd be great. And then on the positive side, shout outs to the Hoops team, who is in first place in the ACC, beat the shit out of, I guess I shouldn't have cussed, but beat the crap out of North Carolina yesterday. I mean, that was worthy of profanity. That what they did. I dumbed down what they did to North Carolina, kind of payback for what they did to our football team a couple of years ago in terms of margin. So, yeah, shout out to them. Probably like one of the better stories in local sports right now. They're in first place in the ACC out of nowhere.
Rank them, damn it. Rank them.
I mean,
Rank 'em.
FSU on Saturday. So win that, and it'll be very hard not to.
Listen, and FSU beat Duke last night, so not a bad team. So.
Yeah, we owe them one from last week when they called a BS foul at the end of the game and stole it from us. So
They did the same thing against Duke.
Yep, it happened against Duke also.
Yeah, well, we'll just give them the North Carolina treatment. It won't matter. So
revenge versus FSU, baby. Guys, thank you guys for coming on the show. I think this was fun. Hopefully, more drama will continue after this weekend with the Elite Prospect Day, some more coaching stuff. Make sure you guys check us all out. But real quick before we go, Max, where can they find you? There it is, right there.
Also, watch Maxed Out. I mean, I'll plug your show if you're not going to.
No, you can find me.
I asked them where can they find you.
The Miami Flow channel, man. You can find me at Team Miami Flow on Twitter. I'm now running our social media because Flow's too busy. So now we have an actual Team Miami Flow account that doesn't have their DMs blocked like Flow. So you could follow.
I can't even DM, so don't think it's just you guys.
Yeah, definitely follow us there because I'm trying to get that thing moving.
Absolutely. Very cool. You can always follow us, all of us, DJ, Danny Gillette, Vish, myself, Six Rings Canes. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at Six Rings Canes. We're on the YouTube network channel. We're also on the Fibers and Sports YouTube channel every Wednesday at 8:30. Check us out for all our freezing cold takes that we have for my shitty name pronunciations. Make sure you check us all out and give us a thumbs up, man. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, like it, and we always appreciate. Rasta says, "I ain't get an invite, but you can find me at."
We'll give Rasta a plug here. We'll give Rasta a plug.
I literally sent him the damn link on Twitter. This dude really is drunk.
You're coming on the show next weekend, all right?
Yeah, we'll definitely give Rasta a plug here.
It's done. They've got a great show. Him and Dave and David over at Sebastian's Lane. That's really cool. And make sure you check us out. We appreciate everybody coming on. And hopefully, if you didn't watch it now, you'll watch it later. Gary kind of disappeared again. What the hell's going on with Gary? This is unbelievable. If
he's
Gary
asking for spicy chicken nuggets at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, he probably is.
He has been doing quite a bit of that. I have noticed that rolling the plate.
Oh man, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Adios, fellas.
Adios.